What's good, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I am Marcus, also known as Chef Marku. If you don't know, now you know. And if you came from those other platforms, welcome, Bookie, because we about to turn it out. In today's video, we are talking about why you're wrong about success. I was not always a chef. I am a chef now, and my entirety of my career is based around bringing joy to other people. But in the beginning of my life, before I became a chef, I was going to school to be an entertainer. I was going to school to be a singer, an actor. I wanted to be across all platforms. I wanted to be on stage like with Tyler Perry. Yeah, I wanted to be in his shows, and that was my desire. I just knew I was going to be a star. But then I came and went to college, right? And then I started my transition, but right before college, going into college. And that was already very difficult because being a trans person in college, where 12 years ago, that wasn't really part of our like big conversation, theater was kind of weird for me, and the parts were kind of strange, and the program was also trash, okay? It was not a good theater program. I just went to the cheapest state school, if I'm being quite honest. And I was like unhappy. I was going through a terrible relationship, which led me to having a mental breakdown. Probably had a lot to do with the hormones, okay? And I dropped out. I was done. So I dropped out of school, and of course, you need a job. So I went looking, and who's most accepting when you need a job? The kitchen. So Chipotle took me in, and I was having the time of my life. I was learning how to do all these beautiful things and all the prep and how to cut and how to saute and all these little small skills that are necessary. You need them. But I didn't have them at the time because I had no desire to cook. That was no part of my life up until I got to that part. Right now, my mom was a cook, first of all. She was sort of kind of married to a Senegalese man, and by default, I learned about Senegalese cuisine, and that man had sisters, and so I was cooking with his sisters, and I was learning about all these dishes, and that kind of shaped my culinary profile up until I, moved on and got a job. So I'm cooking at Chipotle. I'm, trying to figure out life. I'm still singing. I'm still doing open mics. I'm bing bopping around. And that's when Instagram came out with the blue and the blue and the brown. You remember when it was blue and brown? You know what I'm saying? I'm a little old. I'm 30 now, y'all. I'm 30. Oh, I'm pop right now. But I'm like, okay, let me post on Instagram about these new dishes I'm trying out. I was trying out new dishes, and I wanted to, film it. I guess I didn't really know why. I just kind of bored, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna film it. Like, why not? And one thing led to another, and a friend called me like, hey, I got $2,000 for you. For what? Oh, he's like, I want you to cater. I said, cater, baby? I don't cater. I can cook you a couple of dishes, but I don't know about all that. And so, at the time, I wasn't really thinking about that. I was still thinking about being a star. I was still thinking about singing. I was going open mics, right? So I took it. I said yes. I cooked all the food. I showed up. I did my big one. And then, bam, people are like, what's the name of your company? How can I find you? Well, I want to do this for my wedding. I want to do this for my birthday party. Can you cater for this? Can you cater for that? And I was like, oh my gosh, like, whoa, like, I don't know. Sure, I think maybe. But then I was like, wait a minute. There's a lot of money, obviously, in this part of the world, in this career path I'm in. And I took it and I ran with it. But I did not keep in mind that I could lose my own desire and that success was not just monetary. So where the change happened for me was until, to be honest with you, in the last few years. I was really struggling because I was doing full-time catering stuff. I was catering and working in jobs and doing cooking stuff here, cooking stuff there, opening restaurants or helping other people open restaurants, not my own, just to be clear. Helping other people open restaurants, doing all kinds of various catering things. Anything that had to do with cooking, I was in there. Okay, even worked for a nonprofit, even just everywhere. I was everywhere I could be when it came to cooking, but I lost everything about Marcus the entertainer. I lost everything about Marcus the singer. I lost everything about Marcus the stage personality, the MC. And I was like, wait a second. Like, I actually don't love cooking. What do I do? I don't love cooking as in like, I don't love cooking. I don't love cooking as a job. I love cooking. I think it's a wonderful skill. I think it's a fun thing to be able to do for family, right? And for the people I love and for my baby, for my lady. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm a little flamboyant, but mind your business, okay? Because I can be what I want to be. But yeah, I'm happy to do cooking in that form, but something was missing, and so I needed to shift, and so I started seeking out other ways to entertain, and there became TikTok came out, and it was getting really big, and so I started posting on TikTok and just talking trash and kind of doing my little thing, telling my jokes, telling my stories, and people were like, yo, you're so funny, oh my gosh, like, do you have a channel, do you have a YouTube? And mind you, I started a YouTube like 4 years ago, but I only put up 2 videos and they were very bad, and you can go watch them just so you can see how far I've come, okay? But in general, I kind of like lost the ability to entertain with my focus point. My focus point was not entertainment. So I was like, well, I want to entertain. I want people to laugh. I want people to talk to me, and I want to talk to them. And I want to have conversations that I think are fun and joyous and maybe a little creepy, but also a little wild because I be thinking wild stuff. And I know that other people think like that. I just gotta find them. And so I started jumping around on TikTok. Then I started moving around on Instagram a little differently. And I kind of backed away from the food stuff. And then I opened the dinner club to pay homage to the food stuff because I was gonna quit. I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't gonna be a chef no more. I was just gonna change all my names on Instagram, change my names on any other platform that I have, on Facebook, on anything, and just be Marcus, who can also cook, but is also a singer and an actor and an entertainer and a comedian, right? And I wanted to be all of those things and not just be known for being a chef, because I was like, dang, like I feel trapped. Like I want to do all of this. I don't want to just be a chef. And to me, I had marked off being successful because I hadn't made the kind of money I thought I was going to make. And let's talk about that, because I thought that being a chef and being a private chef would get me like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it could, and it still could, right? I think I didn't do a few things right, but at this time, I realized that it was just like maybe not part of the path I was supposed to be on, because I was chasing a level of success that was only monetary. And I didn't pay any attention to the fact that I made it to 2 magazine features, right? After having one singular dinner party. That is a feat of its own. I don't know anybody who had one dinner party and blew up in their local town, right? Now, that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I said I don't know anybody who did it. But I'm looking at myself and I'm like, dang, one dinner party got me on the news twice with 2 of my own features, and it got me in Philadelphia's food magazine out of the Philadelphia Inquirer, and it got me in Philadelphia Gay News. And then that led to other opportunities, and I became known, right, as Philadelphia's rising star chef. And I was like, that's pretty freaking cool. Like, you should celebrate that. That's tremendous. Like, that's not on somebody else's resume. That's on yours, right? That's on your list of things that you've accomplished. And why aren't you holding that, you know, in your heart and like appreciating the fact that you did that? And it was because I ain't got no money for it. Ain't nobody paid me. I was so upset. I was like angry at the fact that it happened, but it didn't revolve around money or cars or houses. And like, that might make me a little materialistic in a way. Sure, maybe. But in general, I was like, what am I doing all this for if it's not going to get me where I want to go? If I'm not living the life I want to live. I don't want to cook forever for the next 30 years on my feet and have feet injuries. I already got feet injuries. I don't want to stand on my feet for the rest of my life, my back hurting, just to cook for other people. I think I saw it as an escape to what I was doing initially at first, but then I got trapped in the idea of the possibility of the type of monetary success that was possible to come. So I said, okay, well, what are we gonna do about that? Well, I came back to YouTube. I came back to YouTube because I knew it was a place for me to chat, for me to talk, for me to express myself, and for people who are like me to understand how I'm thinking, what this journey will look like as I kind of transition back into entertainment and acting and finding my way into commercials or whatever that might look like. But even reality TV, I thought would be a fun time for me because I can eat the camera up. Excuse me. Because I can eat the camera up. So I said, okay, you're very wrong about success, because success is what you make it. Success is what you deem that is fulfilling to yourself. And I think that, you know, the world and, you know, rich culture and like success culture, there's a culture for that, kind of press on us the idea that we are not successful if we do not do those particular things. And that just is not true, Buki. It's not true. And you gotta love on yourself. You gotta love on yourself for the things that you've accomplished. And it don't matter if you just graduated and ain't even got a job yet. It don't matter if you only painted 3 paintings and you know you haven't sold them yet, or maybe you only sold 1 copy and not a few. Maybe you only had, you know, 1 digital print that somebody wanted to buy and it was 2 years ago. And in your head, oh, I'm not successful. No, you are actually, because you still have the desire, and you also still have the push to do this thing that brings you the most joy in your creation. And who doesn't want to make money from what they do, right? Like, some people have hobbies, and some people's hobbies are the career path too, right? There are some people who are really great at ceramics, but that's their job, versus maybe they do ceramics for fun. Maybe they do a class once a month, but they don't sell it, even if their pieces are phenomenally made. That's for them. That's a phenomenal piece that they made for themselves. It's not for sale because it brings them joy. So I have to think about what brings me joy and what level of success I'm okay with having from those things, versus needing the approval of others to find it successful for myself, and needing someone to clap and say great job for me to be like, yay, I did it, I'm successful now. So what does that mean? What does success mean for you now that you've made it? What does it mean for you? Does it change anything about how you feel about yourself? Does it change anything about how you live or how you treat other people? Does it change anything about, you know, like what you can or can't do? Because I get it, right? Monetary success changes what you have access to. And your worries may change when you have monetary access to certain, like, or success monetarily. But it doesn't mean it's the only success. And that's what I want to leave you with. So if you are someone who has anything that you've done in your life, whether it's success in your career, or, you know, success in your personal life with art, or some kind of medium that you're using to express yourself, love on that, appreciate that, celebrate that. Matter of fact, take yourself out tomorrow for a drink or a dish if you don't drink. You know, take yourself out to eat. You know, buy yourself a new pair of something, a new pair of shoes, clothes, shirt, something that you really like. You've been looking at. You've been looking at on your Amazon 18 times a day, or looking at on some special website that you follow, and celebrate yourself, because success is not just monetary. It is absolutely all the other things that count before the monetary success. And with that, I love you. I hope to see you soon, and make sure you come back for my next video. Peace. I'm out of here.